This one man divided an entire country, and millions took to the streets. But what really happened will surprise you. I am Adit, and this is my first video, and here I will tell you what is going on in your country. Every country has secrets. Some are hidden, and some are buried. But what happens when the truth is right in front of us, and we still refuse to see it? Cut to crowd chaos, sirens faintly in background. The story you're about to hear is not just about protests, it's about power, control, and a nation divided against itself. For years, the name Donald Trump has dominated headlines. But behind the rallies, the speeches, and the slogans, there's a darker reality, one that most people never fully understand. Millions of people on the streets, voices raised, anger rising. But here's the question no one is asking. Were these protests really about politics? Or was something much bigger happening behind the scenes? Because sometimes, what looks like chaos is actually a sign of something deeper. Text on screen, the dark truth. In this video, we're uncovering the reality behind the protests linked to Donald Trump. The truth that social media doesn't show you. Watch till the end, because this story might change the way you see everything. What happens when a single leader divides an entire nation? From massive rallies to violent clashes, from loyal supporters to angry protesters. The name Donald Trump has sparked some of the biggest public reactions in modern American history. But here's the real question. Were people protesting against him or for him? And why did America become so divided? Today, we're diving deep into the truth behind protests connected to Donald Trump. The emotions, the chaos, and the reality you don't always see on social media. Before we understand the protests, let's quickly understand the man at the center of it all, Donald Trump. A businessman, TV personality, and eventually the 45th President of the United States. Known for his bold statements, controversial decisions, and strong personality, Trump didn't just enter politics, he shook it. From immigration policies to America First, his leadership style created two very strong groups. Checkmark people who supported him passionately, crossmark people who opposed him strongly. And when emotions run high, protests begin. Let's start with the bigger side. Protests against Trump. As soon as he was elected in 2016, protests broke out across cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. One of the largest demonstrations in US history happened just after his inauguration. Millions of people took to the streets. Why? Concerns over immigration policies, women's rights, climate change decisions, racial issues. People felt that his leadership could harm certain communities. These protests were mostly peaceful, but sometimes turned chaotic. Police clashes, arrests, and intense debates became common. America was no longer just politically divided, it was emotionally divided. Part 3. Protests in support of Trump, 7 to 10:30. Now here's the side many people ignore. There were also protests supporting Donald Trump. Yes, thousands of his supporters gathered in rallies, marches, and demonstrations. They believed checkmark Trump was protecting American jobs. He was strong on national security. He spoke what others were afraid to say. These events often felt more like celebrations, with flags, slogans, and loud chants like, "Make America Great Again." But sometimes, these pro-Trump rallies clashed with anti-Trump protesters. And that's when things got dangerous. Everything changed on January 6th, 2021. A day that shocked not just America, but the entire world. Supporters of Donald Trump gathered in Washington, D.C. to protest the election results. But what started as a protest turned into something far more serious. Crowds moved toward the US Capitol building, breaking barriers, entering restricted areas, and creating chaos. This event became one of the most controversial moments in modern US history. Some called it a protest, others called it an attack on democracy. And even today, people strongly disagree on what really happened. So why did all of this happen? Why did one leader create such extreme reactions? The answer is simple, but powerful. Different beliefs, different values, different visions for the country. In today's world, social media also plays a huge role. People see information that supports their own opinions. And slowly, two separate realities are created. That's why protests became so intense. Because people weren't just fighting for a leader, they were fighting for what they believed was right. So, were there protests in America for Donald Trump? Yes, and also against him. But more importantly, these protests revealed something deeper. A divided nation, struggling to agree on its future, whether you support him or not. One thing is clear. Donald Trump didn't just change politics. He changed how people react to politics. And maybe the biggest question is, can a divided nation ever come back together? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories. See you in the next video.